Hang on!
In a television first, skippers take us inside their world.
There's our size one, someone's already eaten it.
It's the lobstermen versus the predators.
They get in there and they just make a mess of a pot.
I think a lot of blokes down in the pub don't realise how much of a hard job this is.
The engine fails.
Hey, fucking hell.
You doing it?
There's something serious going on.
The disasters.
Fuck!
The deckhand is the one in the firing line.
What makes you feel alive, mate? Bit of salt water.
And the mystery and secrets of the creatures they hunt.
Up to 40% less fish by the octopus in our pots, just caned us.
Worthless. The stress levels are just rising flat out.
Yeah, fucking prick.
It's an environment which is just high risk. It's as dangerous as being a soldier in Afghanistan.
Lobster hunting is one of the deadliest jobs in the world.
What the fuck is that?
Another octopus toad. Big one too. Looks big anyway.
The Southern Ocean. And the bold contender is under attack from octopus.
Fucking octopuses.
Fucking octopuses.
Come and meet your Waterloo. Go for a walk, boy.
The old slime bag, those filthy black things that are tiptoeing around.
You see these bastards, they're never a good sign.
I hate octopus. Especially when we're catching stuff all.
They're going to kill everything in the pot and absolutely destroy it.
The poor old rock lobster, he absolutely gets the life sucked out of him by the octopus. They just drive me up the wall. All they do is cost you money. They do a heap of damage to beautiful lobsters and they just kill them and make a hell of a mess. The octopus are having an absolute field day. Bloody good pot too. That was a nice fish, wasn't it?
Was.
Just get him, Tabor, and cut his head off, mate.
Squizzy's running out of time to hit his trip target. Every extra hour of fishing costs him money.
What a waste of a money fish. What a waste.
There's fuel, electricity and base wages.
Octopus, Tabes, octopus, there's another one. He's killed a size cray, this one.
Squizzy doesn't want to see any more octopus in his pots.
Fucking octopuses.
Northwest Tasmania. And skipper Steve Hersey has got the Ella Rose chasing 500 kilos of big reds for the Hersey family restaurant.
That's a good one. Yeah, not too bad. A few in her. How many was in there? Four. Awesome. Yeah! Woohoo!
Gonna hopefully go for about that 50 fish again, and let's hope we can do it today.
Pretty good.
The tourist trade loves a showpiece lobster.
The biggest fish I ever caught weighed in about 5.1 kilos. And the biggest fish I've ever seen, my uncle showed me a photo of him holding a crayfish in his wheelhouse, and he believed it was over 6 kilos.
But there's no table-sized reds in this pot, just a big, angry conger eel.
Not what you want. It's a big fucking eel. just goes ape shit at the eels.
Down, Gus. Yeah.
Gus, just when he sees the eels, he just... Some ticks, he doesn't like them, so he goes a bit nuts.
We just fucking bit one of those days, dog.
A big one's a pain. A big one's a real pain. That meter-long conger eel is a pure tube of muscle that is very angry. Like, a lot of the bycatch comes up from depth with some barotrauma, basically from the change in pressure, and it's a little bit, you know, the conger eel comes up, he's mad. He's very angry. And slippery, you can't hold it. Doesn't have proper teeth, but like, oh God, you wouldn't want to get your hand anywhere near its mouth.
Five pots for nothing. We're going well now. We pulled 13 pots today, and this was our best line yesterday, and today's just nothing in them. Octopus, Toads, octopus! So we just pulled a pot, it's got octopus in it. Fucking hate them. Look at the size of that!
The bold contender, and Squizzy's pots are under siege again.
Another octopus, Toad! Big one too. Looks big anyway. Octopus in a pot. Grab that octopus out, Taylor, and cut its fucking head off. No, that one. Didn't get that one. He's only just got in there, has he? This one looks like he's only just got in the pot, so he hasn't killed any. So,
a fair bit of damage, though.
See how they do the damage? So you see the 3 legs are missing, one on that side. So now, even when that rock lobster grows, it's going to be worthless anyway.
This is footage of an octopus attack, how they get into the lobster pots, and how they trap and kill their prey.
The octopus eyes the feast and selects its prey.
All of a sudden, you notice there's a tentacle inside the cray pot. You don't see where he came from or how he got there. Octopus can slide its body through anything it can fit its beak through, which is the only hard part inside the animal. The base of all the tentacles is a little beak. Anything that octopus can slide that beak through, the rest of its body will follow it. And once it's inside, it's a fight. They have a big, big fight. It does not seem like oh yeah, the octopus has just got the one up on the crayfish and it just rips it to pieces. Like, no.
$16 pots and 3 ockies is not a good average.
The stress levels are just rising flat out.
Team Bold Contender has just lost 7 lobsters to octopus, worth close to $600.
That's a size cray. Worthless.
Squizzy's worst loss ever to octopus was 20 lobsters across 50 pots, a $1,520 disaster.
Do you know that James Bond movie, Octopussy? I hate that movie too. That was a crap movie, just like these bloody octopus what keep coming up in the pots.
Okay. Get him. They might be little, but they can still kill some lobsters.
For lobstermen, they're the costliest apex predator of all.
The octopus costs us around about $140 then. Lost 2 size fish.
That fucking octopus. They're dead. Dead. So we lost 3 out of that pot.
It doesn't matter whether it's a big one or a little one. They just still seem to kill the biggest crayfish that's in the pot and heaps of others as well.
Most of these are missing legs. There's about 3 dead so far.
This one, the octopus has chased them around and around. They've worn themselves out. They're completely knackered. Look.
In my opinion, what happens is the biggest cray in the pot goes to defend the rest of the little crays. So the biggest cray will go and defend the ockie. The ockie's in there to try and kill the crays and get a feed. And the biggest cray will defend, he'll get killed by the ockie, and then the rest of the crays just die a heart attack. They just die of shock and they'll just check out and throw their legs off and die.
Yeah, they do eat a fair few. They normally get the biggest ones in the pot first.
Coming up,
just don't take your eyes off that swell, Scotty.
Why inshore lobsters are so red.
It's that red shell that the market really likes.
The Chinese preference for a red lobster is driving men inshore and to greater risks.
Oh, shit.
The Southern Ocean.
Fucking oath. 3. Ockie killed fucking 2, so that left us with 3.
We are getting totally smashed by octopus.
And Squizzy's back-to-back octopus attacks have claimed 5 lobsters. At $100 a kilo, that's a loss of roughly $400.
Just disappointing. We finally found a few fish and sold the octopus. They're costing us a heap of money. The way these octopus are coming up, I think they're stuck to the bottom of the boat.
It's a direct hit to Squizzy's bottom line profit. To catch another 5 will cost more money.
At the start of the cray season, the pots are loaded aboard.
Lobstermen have been in a tooth and nail fight with the octopus since the industry first started.
A major enemy is the octopus. When it pinions its prey, its suckers grip everywhere, holding the entire carapace in a complete stranglehold. The crayfish's abdominal plates are drawn towards the octopus's mouth, and the black tip of the horny beak crunches through the shell and into the flesh.
They actually put a chemical inside which actually separates the meat from the shell, makes it easy for them to get out.
If you pull up a pot and it has a lobster in there and the octopus has had a chance to eat it completely, you can see all the tissues have been removed from the inside right through to the eyeball. So you can look at the eyeball of a lobster that's been eaten and it's just a little clear window with no tissue left inside at all. Inside a pot, the lobsters are just stuck and they can't get away, and that's why they're just so vulnerable to octopus there. But then they'll manoeuvre their mouth around to a soft part of the lobster, usually underneath its tail. They'll bite it and then they inject digestive juices into the lobster, and that basically dissolves the lobster from the inside out. Much like a spider eating a fly, all the muscles and the other tissues inside the lobster turn into soup, and the octopus are able to eat that, and that's how they get a feed.
Best way to kill an octopus is just cut its head straight off, blow its eyes. That's the quickest way. Straight off. Don't muck around with it.
This is the kind of safe shelter lobsters search for. But the rock lobster is still very much a mystery.
Lobsters are one of the most interesting animals, in my opinion.
Most surprising thing about the lobster for me is how little we actually know about the animals. And you can talk to the fishermen too, even the guys that have been doing it 30 years. They can't really tell you why one day to the next day they caught more or less crayfish. Yeah, it's the mystery about it is what I really like.
He's good ockie, actually. He'll be about 4 kilo. All his legs are edible.
Most crews keep the octopus byproduct to sell to restaurants for around $11 a kilo. A far cry from the $100+ they get for the lobsters.
When we get an octopus, we kill it really quick, we freeze the body, and then we sell it, and it goes off to a nice fancy restaurant. I enjoy it on bickies and cheese and watching the footy at home with a glass of wine. Tastes good.
Wait to go out. Just don't take your eyes off that swell, Scotty.
Nah.
Any swell in the dinghy bigger than a bee's dick is scary and dangerous.
Whoa, shit. Hold on. Didn't see that one coming.
Cracker, the skipper of the Kaikoura, and deckhand Scotty have hit the dinghy to chase bigger, more valuable lobsters in close. But where there's prey, there are predators too.
This is where we have to be careful not to get a rope around the prop here. It'd end up high and dry up on the rocks.
The fishers like to target lobsters that are in close for a couple of reasons. Often they can get quite a good catch rate. Often it's a chance to find a little spot where no one's set a pot for a long time.
Yes, we quite often get a few in here, just on the edge of the whitewater. Yep.
When the swell goes off, when conditions calm down, the lobsters that have been in around the rocks inshore, they're hungry because they've been hanging on for a few days.
This next spot's one of our good little spots. We usually get 4 or 5 meshes out of this little hole in here, so, yep.
But the other thing is, lobsters that are in closer to shore tend to have more algae in their diet. The algae has pigment in it, and that gets into the metabolism of the lobsters and helps create a dark red shell. And it's that red shell that the market really likes. So that means you can get a high price for those lobsters that are in inshore areas.
The Chinese market, the Chinese preference for a red lobster is driving men inshore and to greater risks.
Hold on. Look at this one, he's a bit sunk. I reckon he's caught in a bit of bull kelp. The water here is all stirred up. This has just turned horrible overnight here, so.
A big red lobster can bring in $110 a kilo, so Cracker takes the risk.
Keep an eye on the waves as well if you don't mind.
Early morning, Tasmania.
First pot of the day coming up.
And it's Groundhog Day for Squizzy. His pots are under attack.
You got any idea how slimy the fucking thing is? Fucking wanker.
Conger eels just don't target juvenile lobsters. They hunt for fingers and hands as well.
When I was a deckhand many years ago, I got my thumb caught in the mouth of one. And I got like a lockjaw. And it was worse than hitting me thumb with a hammer, I'll tell you. They're slippery suckers, that's for sure. You wouldn't want to get a finger in one of their mouths because they got lockjaw. Slippery, slimy suckers. Toby's got the experience and he's done it heaps of times. And he knows what he's doing. And it's fun to watch too. Sometimes I wish the conger eel would win.
The southern conger eel hunts at night, and the lobster pots act as traps. Whatever's inside is easy pickings for apex predators. Lobsters, reef fish, bait, even octopus.
I remember years ago, one grabbed me on the end of the gumboot and just started turning, and yeah, I thought it was going to rip my leg off. If a conger eel grabbed you on the hand and started twisting, it'd rip your wrist off, like no doubt, like they're strong. Yeah, ridiculously strong.
Conger eels don't have big teeth, but they do have strong jaws and they have super strong bodies as well. They can be as thick as a person's leg and that's all muscle, so they're very strong animals and they can be quite a challenge for fishers to get out of some of the pots.
We let the conger eels go alive because their main source of food is the octopus. So we're doing the rock lobster a big favour by letting them go.
Squizzy's profit margin is taking a hammering. Every empty pot means more time at sea and higher operating costs.
Oh, fucking hail! Why fucking not? The rain. If you don't have a laugh at this game, you'd cry. Octopus, man. What's he? Octopus. He's got another one, look. I reckon it's the one that came out of this pot. He's a nice seal for doing that to an octopus. I like seals now.
Coming up.
Fucking enough.
So it's actually a giant combination of little organisms all together.
The mysterious sea creature costing the lobstermen thousands.
Every time we see them, my catch rate just drops. Fucking oath. All of them red lobster in there.
The Kaikoura's dinghy is paying off. Crackers up to 250 kilos.
Nice spot, this one. You don't have to use a measure here.
He and deckhand Scotty are halfway home.
So you can see how far over a measure that one is. Good couple of inches. Nice big boy. Starting to get in some nice dingy fish now.
I do estimate that it costs us about $8,000 to leave port each time we go fishing. You need nearly a tonne a trip to make a decent dollar out of it. You start catching 500 kilo and yeah, you break even.
Show was a wet one. Means we go to number one.
Biggest one I ever caught was close on 6 kilo.
3 kilo, would it? 2.5?
Mine's about 4 kilo. Nice big red lobster out of the dinghy.
Best one for the trip so far, Squish?
Yeah, pretty close, I reckon, yeah. Biggest lobster I've ever seen is a bit over 5 kilos. But I have seen a photo of one at 8 kilos, and that had giant legs on it like chicken drumsticks. Huge. Would have been quite tasty, I reckon.
Wow, Jack the Giant Killer. Bang goes an Australian record. 16.5 pounds of lobster with only the mayonnaise to come.
That's about 7.5 kilos worth, valued at more than 750 in today's dollars.
It's an old life form. It's been around for a while. Millions and millions and millions of years.
We've had some lobsters tagged off southwestern Tasmania, and they were tagged and recovered 18 years later, so we know they live at least 18 years. But in those individuals, they'd still only grown a centimetre in all that time. My guess, I think lobsters could probably live at least 40 years of age, but we really don't know.
Inshore is where Cracker lands the big red ones.
That's a female, a nice good kilo female. I don't know, I'm guessing there's probably 100,000 eggs there. Have a guess.
It's also where the lobster's life cycle begins.
Every female lobster produces a lot of offspring. A very large female can produce 500,000 larvae, and she produces them every year. The egg will hatch, bring close to shore, and then the larvae get carried out by currents. They'll get carried out to beyond the ocean shelf, and so they'll spend a year and a half out in the open ocean currents drifting around. And somehow they know when they're drifting past a continent or somewhere within reasonable distance from shore, and so they'll sense that, and then that triggers them to metamorphose into a little stage we call the perilous. And that perilous doesn't eat, and it's got about 2 weeks to swim as fast as it can from the oceans back into shore and try to find a rocky reef where it can set up home again.
They grow regularly, shedding their shells in a process called molting.
Yep.
Then, if Cracker's played his cards right, they find his bait.
Doing him. Nice. It's near getting up to tractor size, that one.
A few females in here. It's a nice fish.
It's illegal to keep breeding females during the winter season. Lobstermen face fines of hundreds of thousands of dollars if they keep them. It's all about protecting the breeding stock.
To control crayfishing in the vast seas surrounding the island and to guard against a very profitable industry being fished out, penalties are severe for taking undersized crayfish or females out of season. A measuring gauge checks the length, a minimum of 4 1/4 inches from rostrum to the posterior edge of the carapace in males and 4 inches in females.
Two good measures out of it so far. 3
kilo, good kilo.
4 measures out of that one.
Poor little grease, isn't it? Hey. Oh, there's a few fish in that. There's one nice bull in there. Last couple have been a bit better, old boy. Yeah. So we've just finished pulling our night shot up at Long Point, but they was good sized fish, so. Yeah, this was the biggest cray of the morning. I reckon he's probably about 1.7, 1.8 or something. Throw him on. Yeah, 1.8.
We generally know how they breed. We generally know their life cycles, but I've watched hours and hours and hours of these animals underwater crawling around cray pots. And there's something very complicated going on between individuals. They have a social dynamic, and that they have all kinds of influences and variables that we can't perceive or can't know because it's such a different life form. And then they're yum, too. That definitely helps a lot.
Wow, Jamie, that's a nice one. Not bad. Get a big couple of dogs, mate. That's awesome. Yeah! Woohoo!
The Ella Rose is back on track. Big 2 kilo plus lobsters for the retail tourist trade.
Generally around the world, cold water lobsters tend to be more sought after.
Oh, a danky.
The flavour is just more highly regarded. The flesh seems to be better eating. So they're the perfect package, really. They're a fantastic tasting lobster, one of the best in the world, if not the best. And then the fantastic appearance with the red shell. So it's a recipe for a highly valued product.
That there's a true monster from the deep. That is just a absolute beast. That is huge. That is the fish. That's 450 to 500 bucks in the restaurant right there, easily. Oh, that is a beast. Oh mate, he's not dead, is he? He's fucking dead, I think.
Oh, he might be too.
It's an octopus strike. It's killed all of the smaller lobsters in the pot.
One dead though.
The giant one has managed to escape, just.
And this is the biggest fish we've had all trip, easily. And he's looking a bit shocked. Oh, he's all right. Thank fuck for that. Oh. Well, that one, that's poor by the feel of that, probably 3.5, something like that, Jamie, you reckon?
I reckon it'll be more than that.
Well, it could even be 4, you wouldn't know. Oh, it won't even fit in the hole, man. It's too big.
I'm fatigued now, but I'm fatigued. Just like, leave me alone, you know?
On board the bold Contender, Squizzy's run of bad luck is continuing. More empty pots and more money down the drain.
Catch that jellyfish, Toads.
But this time it's the prey, not a predator, causing the financial chaos.
This was on the outside of the second pot we just pulled. Condom jellyfish. That's why we call them condom jellyfish. You see the hole at the bottom? That's too big for me. I hate condom jellyfish because every time we see them, my catch rate just drops, and drops severely. Fuck off and go back where
They're called salps, or pyrosomes. Lobsters get a taste for these creatures early on as larvae. and never lose their appetite for them.
I hate condom jellyfish, and I hate fucking wearing them too.
What they like to call the condom jellies. It's not actually a jellyfish, it's a colonial organism. So it's actually a giant combination of little organisms all together, functioning like a jellyfish.
They're not something most people who just go walking along a beach or do a bit of snorkeling inshore would ever see. Sometimes you'll get currents and wind in the right direction that will carry them in closer to shore. They can settle onto the seabed and adult lobsters will eat them then.
When the SELP numbers are very high in an area, you tend to see a drop in lobster catches, which the fishermen's theory, and I tend to agree with them, is that the lobster are just eating all the SELPs.
The pot's got heaps of this on it, and the crayfish should be chewing on it. This is our problem. It's just free tucker. Just makes our job a lot harder.
If lobsters have a belly full of salps, they just become less interested in going into a pot. So they're one of the reasons why catch rates in this fishery can go up and down.
It's a free buffet of food just floating by me in the ocean. Why would I walk over to that cray pot with bait in it? There's food right here.
Come on, baby, come on.
These deep ones got fucking nothing in them.
The lobsters are eating the pyrosomes.
Fucking nothing.
The only way to outwit the pyrosome plague is to navigate away from it, to motor against the current.
We've got down here and it's heaps of jellyfish in the water. I reckon the jellyfish sit on the bottom and then the lobsters eat them. So the fish are there. I think there's just probably heaps of feed in the water. I hate condom jellyfish that much. I hate them more than an octopus. Octopus is a 9 out of 10. The jellyfish is 10 out of 10. Piss off and don't come back. A lobster eating a jellyfish. Stop eating jellyfish, mate. All right? Get into the bowl contender pots.
Coming up,
This is the reason we don't do day shots very often.
the deadly new predator threatening the entire lobster industry.
Conditions that used to be too cold have now become just right.
This is the reason we don't do day shots very often, because we don't catch many fish during the day, unless the weather's dead flat, so...
Tasmania, and Cracker is facing a new type of sea predator, slow-moving and industry-shaping.
This is a viewer for looking in the water. It's just like wearing a face mask, basically.
They're called sea urchins.
Unquestionably, we're seeing dramatic changes in the ecosystem around Tasmania.
Reasonably clear, really. Not crystal clear, but...
You can see the bottom, so that's one good sign.
This particular species, the long-spine sea urchin, has always been abundant further north, but as climate change has occurred, waters have warmed further south, and so the conditions that used to be too cold for long-spine sea urchins have now become just right.
Anyone that's from Tassie that is a recreational fisherman will have seen in the last 10 to 15 years there's new species that have not been seen traditionally in Tassie arriving. And the urchins are one of those animals.
Now that's a problem because these urchins, if they become in high enough density, will start overgrazing the reef. They eat all the seaweed and all the sponges and absolutely everything. All you're left with is bare rock and urchins. Now that's an ecosystem which is no good for lobsters.
The urchins, that's a climate change symptom.
Urchins are just one element of that. We're also seeing large changes in the community of macroalgae, so all the seaweeds are changing. We're seeing change in the fish fauna, so there's change in the ecosystem, and that might be good or it might be bad for lobsters. That's something we clearly need to keep an eye on.
The most immediate prospect of keeping the urchin in check is the lobster itself, and there's a growing marketplace for urchin eggs.
So the urchins are now being harvested, and they're being harvested as a fishery. So they contain a roe, and the roe is used on sushi. So right around Australia now you can go to restaurants and buy sushi, and often urchin roe are one of the choices, and it's usually going to be a roe from this particular fishery. I actually had some last week, and I can attest they're just fantastic. I'm absolutely converted to them. I just didn't realise they were so good.
The Southern Ocean, and this is Squizzy's trip from hell. The bold contender is under assault from hungry sharks.
We got a gummy shark. I should have come a fucking gummy shark fisherman, I reckon.
Lobstermen encounter sharks regularly. The most common is the draft board.
Draft board sharks, they're just a pain in the backside. They get in there, and I think they stop lobsters getting in your pots for sure, but it's part of nature. We've got to work around it.
Bloody sharks!
They're a very docile, mild animal. They're also called sleepies because they just barely do anything.
Poor sleeping sharks.
When undersized crayfish are tossed back into the sea, the shock leaves them stunned for some time. Completely defenceless, they're game for any passing predator.
They're actually one of the predators out there, particularly if a lobster is molting. That's one of those periods when they're soft and they're not able to move so freely and they're more vulnerable. At those times, draft board sharks will sometimes eat lobsters.
Oh, shit's in. Over a metre long. I'll let Tabor have this one, because I'm a good skipper.
Fucking oath, he's stretching the truth there.
Well, another nickname for them is the stinky shark. They just stink. And there is a story. Tabor's twin brother, someone said to him once, he said, "Why can't you eat these sharks?" He said, "Mate, you can. Cook one up." So they cooked it up. Cooked it in the wheelhouse. He stunk out the whole boat while he was cooking it. He took one bite, then spewed up. So that's how good they are. The old draft board shark. No good for nothing. What they smell like is not a fishy smell. They've got their own smell. It's like a cameraman's sock he hasn't changed on the boat for 10 days. That's what it smells like.
Yeah, come here. You'll pull a pot, they'll fly along, they'll land, they just sit there and watch it. Then you take off to the next pot, they'll fly off again and land next to you. No, they're awesome, I love them.
Snotty has motored straight into a crisis zone.
See a bit of sea lice this morning.
Sea lice.
Just the maggots of the sea, really. They just clean everything up. They just eat anything that's sort of half dead, so they're a pain in the ass.
Not much in them, old boy.
The sea lice, which are sea fleas, create problems because they eat our bait out. Like, if you've got no bait in your pot, you're not going to catch any crays, so they cause us issues, big issues.
Sea lice hurt a lot when you get bit by them. It's quite uncomfortable. Basically, it's a drifter organism. It's floating around in the water, scavenging anything it can get its hands on, and being eaten by everything else that can eat it too. And in fact, things like that, like the sea lice, and even smaller things than the sea lice, are actually what make up, well over half of the life in the ocean by weight is made up of little things smaller, things like that sea lice and smaller.
We've just pulled half of them. Yeah, not going very well, so.
Coming up, how climate change is affecting the lobstermen.
I'm very concerned about the potential impacts of global warming on the fishery. I think they should be very concerned about it. The ocean's unhealthy, they're not going to have a living.
Hopefully bloody few big ones were walking last night. What's that? That's free, clunkers.
It's another one, yeah.
Tasmania, and skipper Snotty has motored away from the sea lice.
Oh, yes. Look at that. Oh, ho, ho. I reckon he's our biggest one of the morning. Bloody oath, he's been down there a long time, that big fella. He's a clunker. We'll throw him on the scales and see what he weighs. He's crow of the trip, this one for us. We're not going to get one any bigger than this anywhere down here. It's about 3.2 kilo. That was a fucking awesome shot. These are the mornings you live for. Like, you put up with a lot of shit out here fishing. Like, you know, you have a lot of hard days. And this morning, no wind, no swell, got some bloody clunking crays. That's fishing. That's fishing.
The Southern Ocean is full of apex predators, waiting to kill and eat lobsters and to burn a hole in the bank account of the most experienced of lobstermen. But in the end, though, climate change remains the biggest, most dramatic threat to all these men and their industry.
Well, we know it's going to be especially dramatic. It's one of the hot spots in the world for climate change, and the changing water conditions could have affected the ability of the planktonic lobster larvae to actually survive out in the oceans and come back to shore again. Climate change means more occasions when swell is higher, more high energy events. So some of those factors are going to impact on the lobsters, but of course they'll also impact on the ability of fishers to get out on the water and to operate as well.
I'm very concerned about the potential impacts of global warming on the fishery. I think they should be very concerned about it. The ocean's unhealthy, they're not going to have a living. And not all of them see that, but a fair percentage do, and you work on that to kind of, it's a collaborative effort, really.
Lobster hunting in the Southern Ocean is a tradition going back generations. Lobstermen want a future as well.
Yeah, skipper in training. Where are you off to, Gus? My father and his father have had a lot of success in the industry, so if we can be half as good as them, I think we'd be doing all right.
Not long now. A couple of bears.
How you going with it, man? Yeah, not too bad.
Steve Hersey hit his target of 500 kilos worth of restaurant-grade lobsters for this trip.
Yeah, it worked out, so we've got some nice sized fish, as you can see, and got here, got it home safely. Everyone's happy. We're going to all make it pay. It's good.
87. 88. 11 fish short of 500.
Squizzy was just a few lobsters short of his target, but the trip ran a lot longer than planned. His battles with the predators have slashed his profits.
Just shows you, jellyfish turn up, things go against you, and that's fishing. That's why they don't call it catching.
So what's your secret, Snotty?
I don't know, we must just got lucky then, Steve, I reckon.
The sea lice was Snotty's only hiccup.
104,857 bucks.
Nice.
Beautiful.
We going on holiday, mate?
Oh, bloody oath we are.
Fuck, good line. What we wanted.
Cracker and Scotty landed just shy of 700 kilos.
That's getting more along the fishing you want.
The predators were less prevalent inshore this time.
Do the cray dance later.
But it's a long season, and the law of nature says the predators will always be out there, ready to trap and kill.